If there's one thing we can all agree on is that if we could predict the future, we would likely be able to make better decisions today. Take the first iPhone for example. I remember being 17, rocking my 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀 Sony Ericsson phone, and my mom, being the trendy mom that she is, introduced me to her brand new iPhone. Now I didn't put much thought into it at the time, but if I wasn't so distracted playing Plants vs. Zombies on it, it should have been obvious that our world was shifting into one where smartphones would hugely influence how we as a society functions today. So in today's video, I'll be sharing 4 life-changing trends that I'm paying attention to that can possibly change the future and in extension change our lives. So let's get into it. Hi friends, if you're new to the channel, my name's Christian and I'm just a nerd figuring out life one step at a time. On this channel, we discuss ideas, lessons, or mistakes that I've made that can possibly help you make better decisions as you progress through the game of life. So before we get into the 4 trends, the one thing I want to point out is that many of us think that we need a lot of money to take advantage of these ideas, but we are often forgetting the other asset, the other more important and risk-free asset that all of us have, and that is our time. So you don't necessarily have to invest your money into taking advantage of all these things, and keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just sharing my opinions, what I think about the world. But if you don't have money, you can definitely invest your time into growing your skills, growing your expertise in this area, and that might help you position yourself to take advantage of things that might happen in the future. I just wanted to kind of point that out, that this can benefit everyone, and it doesn't necessarily mean you need to put in risk, put in money in order to take advantage of the information in this video. Trend number 1 is leveraging online education. Now I'm just gonna think out loud here for a moment. I think that going to a 4-year university is getting way too expensive. Over the last 2 decades, tuition and fees for going to a 4-year university in the US has ballooned in prices to over 200%. So I can't help but wonder at which point are we going to say to ourselves like, hey, this is not really worth it. You know, getting a degree is fun and all that, but once I actually have to get a job, actually have to pay off my debt, it's not really worth it going through all that time to do so. And this is coming from someone who got his bachelor's degree, who got his master's degree from medical school and became a therapist. Now I'm not saying to not do all that, but all I'm saying is that for what you get, it's not really worth it to pay all that money. So what exactly is the alternative? So the alternative to this is of course online education. And why I think this is so important is because I believe many of us stop our growth right after college, right after university. At least for me, what I found was that right after I got my master's degree and started working full-time job, I really stopped learning, and hence my ability to make more money kind of grinded to a stop, right? Sure, year after year I would get a little tiny raise, but it's so insignificant I may as well have not gotten it at all. And inflation is eating all of it away anyways, right? So the problem I was trying to solve is how do I actually improve my ability to generate more money? And the solution I came up with is I need more knowledge, I need more education. And we're lucky enough to live in an era where we have access to the internet. I mean, all of us carry an iPhone or smartphone around, and we can simply just type something in and learn something online. And a lot of this information, the best part, it is completely free. And when you compare it to going to a 4-year university and paying thousands and thousands of dollars, and sometimes you even come out of it without really a proper skill set, without really direction on what you want to do, it's just such a waste, right? So I think our world is shifting to one that's going to place a lot more importance on what we can learn online as opposed to going to a formal education system. So the one thing I'm starting to do is I'm investing a lot more time into actually learning about new things, learning about the skills that I want to gain so I can improve my ability to generate more money in life. In fact, I'm actually paying for 2 courses right now. The first one being 2-Hour Writer by Dan Cole, just so I can write a little bit better, generate ideas better. And the second is Part-Time YouTuber by Ali Abdal, and that's helping me make better YouTube videos. And so these are really practical applications of the knowledge that I can use to better my skills in the things that I'm doing. And when I really compare it to what I learned in university, of course, I'm not bashing it. You know, I learned a lot of great information and that helped me become an occupational therapist. But the amount of information that I gain is so much more efficient when I'm taking these concentrated courses compared to like the general 4-year university where they, you know, give you a bunch of weird courses that doesn't really apply to what you want to do in life. And I just feel like sometimes I can't help but wonder, maybe it was all a waste of money. So yeah, that's all my thoughts there. So that there is the first trend that I'm noticing, is that a shift from more formal education to more online education, leveraging online education to actually make your life better, to improve your ability to generate more income in the future. So trend number 2 is going to be the power of content creation. Now I want to start this off by saying I'm kind of socially awkward on camera. I'm not very good at social media, I'm not very photogenic, but I'm trying to change all that. I'm trying to become better at it because I'm starting to notice how powerful creating content on the internet is. I want to shift your perspective a little bit about it because I remember when I first started creating content, I thought it was a very vain thing to do. I think it was something that people do to show off. It was kind of icky, I didn't want to do it. But what really changed my perspective is that content online, at least your content online, think about it as an online resume, right? Because we all put our information online, we're kind of boasting about our information on LinkedIn, on our resume and stuff. Creating content is simply the next step of it, because our world now is shifting into more digital one, where we connect with each other by actually watching what someone's putting out online, whatever they're writing, whatever they're showing on their videos. And just to give you an example, say you're someone who really loves cooking. Sure, you can cook by yourself, you can get really good at it, nobody's gonna know anything about it. Sure, your family, your friends will know about it, but what if you started creating some videos of you putting out your whatever you're cooking for dinner for the kids online, right? What if you put out the recipes, get really good at putting out the content on Instagram, on TikTok, making YouTube videos on it. Eventually someone's going to notice like, hey, this person's kind of good at cooking. Just think of the opportunities that will give you, right? You might get jobs that's related to cooking. You might be able to give private lessons to people who want to learn from you. You might be able to help some company or organization prepare food for their employees. There's going to be a lot of opportunities there, but the idea here is that you're putting your online resume online, that you're really good at cooking, you're someone that's improving on it, these are things that you specialize in, and that's how people can find you. So that's where our world is shifting towards, right? We know each other and we learn about each other through the content that we put online. And if you're not doing that, you're simply putting yourself at a disadvantage because no one's going to find you. And the big thing is this, is that in order to generate more money in the world, you need to solve more problems for people in the world. When we're working our day-to-day job, we're only working for our employer. We're only helping one person. They're the only person that knows about the skills that we have. But when we put our knowledge and information online, now the whole world can see us. And when the whole world can see what we're doing, what we're capable of, our potential to generate more income, our potential to have more opportunities is infinitely higher than if we do not do things online. Now, if you're someone who's thinking like, oh, I don't really want to do that, I'm kind of a private person, I don't like to share my life online, that's completely fine. In fact, I'm kind of like that as well. But just know that just because you don't want to create content doesn't mean that this isn't a trend that's going to explode and grow in the world. Just look at people like Mr. Beast, right? He's generating millions and millions of dollars per video, right? He's one of the most successful people in the world, and he's doing this by actually creating content online. People know about him, and that generates so many opportunities for him. Just understand that the content world, it's an umbrella, right? There's a lot of things that trickle down. You have to learn how to edit the videos, how to create the thumbnails, how to market the stuff, actually writing and researching the information that we shared online. There's a lot of different aspects to it, not just the person presenting the information. So if you can gain skills in all these different areas, you can generate a really huge skill set where you can actually be valuable and beneficial to people that's going to be extremely successful because of the content they create. So what I just want you to understand is that content creation is really shifting things. It's shifting where a lot of the money is going, it's shifting how our society is developing, it's shifting where the younger generation is going to pay their attention to. It is an area that I feel that a lot of us should be at least trying to understand why this is so important. At least that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm investing my time into creating all these videos, improving my skills. Of course, these videos, I would say that they're not the best, right? I can always get better, but I'm trying to improve. So I'm trying to follow this trend over there. And of course, I'm also investing money into courses that's going to help me perform a little bit better, investing in someone that's going to help me edit the videos and all this kind of stuff, just so I can be a part of this trend. I don't want to miss it, because content creation will be a huge part of the future and you should be onboarded. So that there is trend number 2. Now, if you are enjoying the video up to this point, I would really appreciate it if you just smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm just a nerd learning about life one lesson at a time, and hopefully these lessons can help you improve your own life as well. Trend number 3 is going to be artificial intelligence, and it is a spicy one. So just like how at the start of the video I discussed the iPhone as revolutionizing how we interacted with the internet, how we function in our day-to-day, having AI or artificial intelligence at our fingertips is definitely going to change how we function as a society in the future. Now, AI as a whole isn't exactly new. Companies has been developing and using it for years already. But what's new is that the public now has instant access to AI through ChatGPT. Now, if you don't know what ChatGPT is, it's literally a bot that you can chat to. Basically a personal assistant that you can ask it questions, ask it to do certain stuff, and it would do it for you by using the power of artificial intelligence. You can literally ask it questions like, hey, organize a trip to Europe for me with specific details, and it will come up with a whole plan. You can ask it to help you code. You can ask AI to write a whole paper for you. Literally, like, the limits are endless. And this is just the beginning. AI is going to continue to develop, it's going to continue to learn, and it's extremely important that we understand where this technology is headed. What I find is that most people are afraid of AI. They are afraid that it will start taking their jobs. They are afraid that AI is going to cause some sort of Terminator-ish apocalyptic world. None of us can predict that far in the future, and if it's going to happen, isn't it better for you to understand how to position yourselves rather than just ignore the problem? I feel like people ignore things they don't understand about when they really should pay attention to stuff they don't understand so that they can better prepare for the inevitable future, right? I mean, it kind of makes sense. What I want you to understand is that a lot of companies like Google, Nvidia, Microsoft, Intel, all these different people, they're starting to invest a lot of money into developing AI technology because AI simply makes things a lot more efficient. It makes things easier, more accurate, basically improves how we do things in our everyday lives. I mean, even in the medical field, I work as an occupational therapist, we're starting to use artificial intelligence, robots to literally do surgeries right now, okay? Like doctors are literally just telling the robots, programming the stuff, giving it the perimeters and the specifics, and the robot is completing the surgery itself. Our world is changing, and if you don't pay attention to this, you'll be left behind. So at least what I'm starting to do is I'm trying to understand what can AI really do for me, right? Because basically it's literally a personal assistant. ChatGPT at least is a personal assistant. You can literally ask it whatever you want and it's going to help you, create what you want, right? So I'm using it to help me create content. I'm using it to help me, create ideas for what I'm going to talk about on these YouTube videos and all these different things. I'm trying to put my time into understanding what is the capabilities of AI and how I can use it to better my own future. And on top of that, I'm also investing some sort of money, of course, not financial advice. I'm investing my money into companies that, investing in the development of AI. So I think it is so important to understand what is AI capable of. How is it going to change our industry? How can you position yourselves so that you have the knowledge on how AI is utilized so you can provide value to companies that's looking for that expertise? And this is really a field that is still so early in its development and I'm not really sure where it goes. There's a lot of videos online talking in depth about what AI is possible with, and of course there's going to be a lot of negative stuff, but I like to pay attention to the more practical information. How can I be a part of this trend so I can better my future? And ultimately, that's all what we want to do, right? We're all working, we're all trying to figure out how we can make life a little easier for us, and I think AI can be a huge part of that if we understand how to utilize it. So that there is trend number 3. So the fourth trend, and probably the most controversial one, is on blockchain technology. So when I talk about blockchain, I'm talking about Bitcoin, I'm talking about Ethereum, but most of all, I'm talking about how the technology as a whole is going to shift how we transact digitally on the internet. Now, don't just take my word from it. BlackRock, one of the most prominent investment companies in the world, is currently trying to get a spot Bitcoin ETF approved. Okay, that's a huge deal. They're basically saying like, hey, we believe that the blockchain is going to be a huge deal in the future, and if you guys want to invest in it with us, you can go along and do that with us. And this really isn't a video to convince you to believe in the blockchain and everything. This is simply a video to point you in the direction that, hey, these are some trends I'm noticing right now. All the big players in the world are paying attention to this trend, and a lot of money is going into it. Besides BlackRock, Starbucks, Disney, even Visa, they're all dipping their toes into investing in blockchain technology. Really, when I see this trend right now, I can't help but think, but hey, maybe I should be investing a little bit, paying a little more attention, trying to understand why they're doing what they're doing. I'm no expert in blockchain technology. I'm not going to try to act like I am, but I see the value in it. So I'm starting to dollar cost averaging just bit by bit into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, just trying to understand why is this such a big deal? How is it going to change our financial system? That way, I have a small part of my portfolio allocated to the development in blockchain technology so that if this technology balloons in the future, becomes this huge thing, then I can greatly profit from it. So that there is trend number 4 that I'm paying attention to that can maybe pique your curiosity in learning about blockchain technology. Actually, this channel started off as a channel that covered a lot of blockchain information. In fact, one thing that I'm very excited about is how blockchain technology is going to change how we interact in gaming. I'm a huge video gaming nerd, and there's something with Web3, and digital assets and all these things, but that's probably a topic for another video. Blockchain technology, pay attention to it. That's something that I think will be a huge deal in the future. Now, if you made it all the way through this video, just know that you have a lot of information that you can now act on, research about, and just simply think about on how you can actually position yourselves to take advantage of this information. And to be honest with you, knowledge without any kind of action is really pointless. You're not going to get anywhere. So if you want to start taking some action, go ahead and check out this video over here on 7 habits in 7 minutes that I learned from the book Atomic Habits on how you can start implementing things into your life to start taking action. Maybe you want to start learning a little bit more about AI. Maybe you want to start creating some content. Check out this video over there, and maybe it can help get you on the right direction and see where things go. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the very next video. Take care. Peace.